Hi, good evening to you. Welcome. It's Friday, it's the 10th of April, and it's Bobcast. But it's not any old Friday, it's Good Friday. And so today we're going to be slightly more serious. We're not going to do any great jokes because I just feel that today is one of those days when perhaps you shouldn't. I've got a nice poem for you that I've found, and one or two things. But just been watching Jesus Christ Superstar on YouTube. Wow. Really, really incredible. If you haven't seen it, then I think it's on for about 24 hours. You can log in. It's under the shows, and there's an S on the end of shows. The shows must go on. And Tim Minchin is Judas. What a powerful performance. And so many different things, and it's done in a very, very modern setting. They're all texting and they're tweeting. The music is superb, which of course it always was, Jesus Christ Superstar. And I really recommend it. Not necessarily the easiest watch, I have to say. Quite violent, quite graphic in parts as well. But for me, it just told the story of, you know, humans and humanity to human, really, and the way in which people turned and all the issues that they had, particularly the issues that Judas went through. And he really struggled, and Mary Magdalene as well, and Jesus himself being tempted, and all the aspects of going on that made him such a human being, which is why I'm so keen on him. And no, it's all right to be me, as it's all right to be you. All my good bits and my bad bits and all those other bits as well. So I recommend it to you. And then Andrew Lloyd Webber comes on at the end. What is very powerful, and spoiler alert coming up, is that when they do the final hand clap and all the bowing at the very end, Jesus and Judas come down together, arm in arm. And I think theologically that says an awful lot, because if it wasn't for Judas, we wouldn't be here. Somebody had to do it. So yeah, it's on YouTube, and it's free as well, which is good. So today has been Good Friday, and I'm just feeling very conscious that although we're socially distant, we're spiritually close around St Andrews and around all the other people. And can I say hello to the hundreds of you out there who are watching this? Wherever I go, someone said to me today, I went out with the dogs and someone just stopped me and said, "Hey Bob, I'm stalking you. Every morning at breakfast I watch Bobcast." And that person would be the first person to say they're not a regular churchgoer, I think, but it's just so good. So to all of you out there, it's brilliant. And those of you who are sharing this online, that's very nice. I wish there were a few Czechs bouncing around, or Yugoslavs, or any other nationality as well. But it is good. So Good Friday, what have I done today? Well, did some recording this morning, and that was really good. It's stimulating doing this recording and trying to sort things out for our website, so that we offer the best service we can in our own simple way. We're not Zooming and doing all those other things, and there's some fabulous stuff going on out there. But so a bit of recording this morning, did some more recording in the garden this afternoon, spent 2 of the 3 hours just between 1 and 3 quietly reflecting, thinking about love, thinking about love being poured out, and Jesus not necessarily just making a sacrifice, but pouring out love for everybody in the world, whether they choose to recognize that or not, whoever they are, no matter who they are, what they've done, their creed, their colour, their sexuality, whatever it is, that love was poured out. And I was thinking about pouring out, having a discussion, and if somebody says, "There's a glass of juice," you think, "Oh, thank you very much," and you drink it. But if somebody says, "I'm going to pour you a glass of juice," and they take a picture, that's an old-fashioned word, isn't it? Better than a jug. Take a jug, you're right. Take a picture of juice and hold the glass and pour it in. That's just for you. And I know I'm very privileged on a Wednesday after our Wednesday communion, when I go down for a coffee, somebody always says, I'll pour you a cup of coffee, Bob. And that is lovely. So I spent a good 2 hours just really reflecting and thinking, having some quiet time, which was nice. Isla's snoring. We took her out for a bit of a run today, and that's the first decent walk I've had for 2.5 weeks. So it was good to get out and get some proper exercise again. But she's wheezing a bit, so I think we're going to take her to the vet. So if there's any vets listening, then if you want to save me 50 quid, then give me a ring, pop round, I'll pass the dog through the window, and we can have a wee look. I just want to make sure she's okay. Cheers, my dears. Wee tartan mug. There's a joke there, but I'm not going to crack it. So Good Friday is one of those challenging days for many, isn't it? In England, it's a bank holiday. Up here, it's in Scotland, it's not. But I was reflecting on a Good Friday from many years ago, and I was once asked to read a poem this is before I was ordained, to read a poem at something, and it was by Stuart Kennedy, great World War I poet known as Woodbine Willie, and I really like this, so I'm going to share this with you tonight. It's called When Jesus Came to Birmingham, but I have to tell you other cities are available, so are other towns. It could be anyone. When Jesus came to Golgotha, they hanged him on a tree. They drove great nails through his hands and feet and made a Calvary. They crowned him with a crown of thorns. Red were his wounds so deep. For those were crude and cruel days, and human flesh was cheap. When Jesus came to Birmingham, they simply passed him by. They would not hurt a hair of him, they only let him die. For humans had grown more tender and said they would not give him pain. They only just passed down the street and left him in the rain. Still Jesus cried, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And still it rained, the winter rain that drenched him through and through. And crowds went home and left the streets without a soul to care. And Jesus crouched against a wall and cried for Calvary. Woodbine Willie, many, many years ago, when Jesus came to Birmingham. Just Google it, you'll find it. You know, there's been a bit of a shock in Kelso today. Quite a lot of stuff beginning to appear on Facebook because they've turned the ice rink into a morgue. It's quite frightening. Huge building, the ice rink, and they're turning it into a morgue, a massive tent outside, and I believe a massive tent being put inside. This just reminds us of where we are in the midst of this. But for me, it also reminds us how things have changed since Stuart Kennedy's day, because when Jesus came to Kelso, Glasgow, Hereford, Edinburgh, whatever city you're in, they didn't just pass by. Now we're doing something about it. Now the homeless are finding homes. Now people are being cared for. And now, sadly, we're having to create places for people to be looked after properly in a morgue. And that, I know, has brought it home to a lot of us. But I'm going to say, don't be scared. It's okay. But, you know, we need to just look at the reality of what this is all about. Great friend of mine, I can't name her, but somebody who's known me since I was a very small boy. She was taken to hospital tonight, and my thoughts and prayers are with her as we hope that whatever is right for her happens. And that, of course, is one of the things. So on this Good Friday, you know, the sun's shining. When I was out in the garden recording my address for Sunday morning, the birds were singing and there were animals dancing around, and I'm sure there were little mice tittering all over. As long as they keep away from me, I don't mind. There was the growth going on, daffodils and all sorts of new shoots, new plants that I can't identify, but many others can, beginning to push their way through, and so that the garden will continue to grow. And Good Friday is a dark day, but it's a day that leads us to Easter Sunday. But it's not a day for joking, so I haven't done any great jokes. Because I just feel sometimes, and this is the first time in a podcast, that it's not right to be constantly punny. So, to all of you who are wondering or watching or waiting tonight, we're going to pray. And just to remind you to keep in touch with each other. It's okay to be you, to relive the past and deal with it and bring it out. Maybe write it on a piece of paper, throw it away. Whatever it happens to be, to talk about it, to be. Because this was the day, all those years ago, when Christ was crucified for you and for me and for whoever else wants to believe that. And so we're doing. I've just had a text come through and it's gone right across the top of my screen. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but that'll be interesting. So, we remember those who are poorly, but I'm saying this prayer for you. Because today I started the day by saying I'm praying for every person in the world, and that includes you. Thank you to all of you who prayed for me. Watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight. Give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, O Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones. Shield your joyous ones. And all for your love's sake. Amen. Now I pray that you sleep, deep sleep, and rest and wake afresh. Or if you're watching this in the morning, I hope you have your Rice Krispies or your Shreddies or your muesli or whatever it is, and enjoy the rest of today. God bless you. Bobcast will be back tomorrow, God willing, and not too much fair or unfair wind.